We present documentary on political elections in Africa and the fight against the novel coronavirus disease pandemic. In this documentary, the politicians of the Talakuta Republic promise so much without fulfilling most of their promises. The future of the children and the youth in this Talakuta Republic belongs to them, and they will follow presidential candidates who will respect the constitution, protect it, and defend territorial integrity. And most importantly, they will follow candidates who will protect their lives and find cure to any pandemic that will threaten their lives. In this Talakuta Republic, there are politics of insults that go on during political campaigns. The children appeal, and I quote, "We must do away with the use of abusive language that become very common during election years." They continue, there could be high level of intolerance, fighting and killing, which may involve the youth in most cases. As children, they said they will not involve themselves because the future belongs to them. The children can come out and speak to all African governments because at times it is the wisdom of Solomon that matters and not the age of Methuselah. Our children's situation in this Talakuta Republic is overshadowed by the novel coronavirus disease pandemic, and there is the need to promote African herbal medicine to fight this COVID-19. And to fight this pandemic, there is the need to protect trees and plants around us because they contain a lot of medicinal phytochemicals. But illegal mining, that's galamsey, is doing more harm than good to our water bodies because the mercury they use destroys everything, including our water bodies, trees and plants. If we need scientists to do research, extract and characterize bioactive molecules from plants, which can be developed into medicine for prevention and cure of any disease, then the government of the Talakuta Republic must stop illegal mines. There is the need for government to build more state-of-the-art facilities for research to enable experts, scientists to explore our floral diversity for the purpose of drug discovery and development. Our African herbalists, with their rich knowledge of the history and folkloric use of our floral diversity, are often discriminated against and treated with contempt because they are not educated, and their approach to providing health care is not orthodox. This is so because the herbalists are not given proper attention as they truly deserve as stakeholders in the health delivery system, and therefore their medicines are poorly regulated. If we do not want our herbal medicine to be more of poison rather than remedies, then the government of the Talakuta Republic must show commitment to funding research into plants and herbal medicine and back it up with science. And if we are serious too, we should be able to export our herbal medicine and make the industry one of our drivers in our economy. The difference between drug and poison is the dose, that's the amount taken. So even drug can be poison. That is why we need to invest into research and back the practice of use of African herbal medicine with science. If the government does not come out to support African herbal medicine and encourage the private sector to use it, we will only be digging new pits to fill the old ones. This comes to you from the Ambassadors for Reconciliation, Justice and Peace, Africa.
Oh my God! I don't know what these politicians are up to. They promise us so much without fulfilling most of their promises. Look, Mandela, great minds discuss issues, but weak minds discuss people. The future of this our country, Talakuta Republic, belongs to us, and we need to follow the presidential candidates who will protect our lives and find cure to any pandemic that will threaten our lives. Brilliant, Selassie.
Yes, you are right, Selassie. But we also have to support the presidential candidates who will respect our constitution, protect it, and defend our territorial integrity.
Wonderful, Nkrumah, but it seems with policies of insults going on during political campaigns.
Yes, that's true. However, we must do away with the use of abusive language that becomes very common during election years.
There could be high levels of intolerance, fighting and killing, which involve the youth in most cases. As children of our time, we must not get involved. The future belongs to us.
Yes, that's true. It is the wisdom of Solomon that matters and not the age of Methuselah.
There can be a peaceful election devoid of all these injustices in the country. We expect Lumumba to be with us in our Telekuta Republic in Africa from Belgium today.
And Robert Mugabe too, from the United States of America. You are welcome.
Welcome.
How was your flight?
Oh my God! Oh, you guys!
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
You are welcome. How was your flight?
Look at Stanley.
Hello guys, how are you doing?
Fine. Hello, I went there yesterday.
Let's sit down and discuss some issues. In our political discourse, we need to address issues at stake and not to attack personality during political campaigns.
Who do you think will win this year's presidential elections for our Telekuta Republic?
Well, I think that the promise of legalizing Okada will go a long way to boost that candidate chances of winning, and also the extension of free SHS to private schools could help him.
Beg to differ. The free SHS and the free water supply from now on to the election day, the D-Day, can also do the magic for that candidate, especially when you places Okada with blind new cars for taxi for each Okada person.
Politicians and their promises, only God knows.
Me, I wish all these candidates would rather concentrate more on improving our local and indigenous industries, especially our African herbal medicine industry.
When transiting from Amsterdam, I saw Leopold Senghor, Tafa Balewa, Gameonesa, Olympio, Jomo Kenyatta at Africa Paradise, and their message for us was champion Africa excellence in developing the African herbal medicine industry.
Kroranom, yes, someone in some shra, you want to see Dom Casacacra. Yaraba could be a coronavirus here. Why, my yaba would have opened my brain. Sabe, mas olha no yate, nanso yate no. Sisiara oni yate na ednampa no a.
Am I supposed to?
Yeah. Excuse me, madam. You have to wash your hands. Hey, madam. Why? You have to wash your hands before you enter. Madam, you have to wash your hands first.
Am I supposed to?
Yes. Ask the authorities.
Precautionary measures, blah, 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 blah.
Really? You still have to wash your hands?
As you can see, I'm wearing my nose mask. And she's wearing hers as well.
Okay.
We washed our hands before getting here. And we didn't get into contact with
I still have to wash
anybody.
your hands before you
Why do you have to wash our hands again?
have to wash your
You guys
hands
are making coronavirus things terrifying. Oh!
Madam, you've been here the whole day. At least the 11th time you have to do this. Just because of people like you.
People like me?
Madam, why? Yes. Madam, wash your hands before you enter. Just go wash your hands. What is the way for? Just go wash your hands.
Our situation is overshadowed by the novel coronavirus disease pandemic, and we need to promote our African herbal medicine industry and champion African excellence by fighting this global pandemic.
If we need to promote our African herbal medicine industry, we have to protect trees and plants around us because they contain a lot of medicinal phytochemicals.
How can you protect trees and plants that contain a lot of medicinal phytochemicals when illegal mining is the order of the day?
That's true. Illegal mining, Garamsey, is the order of the day, and it's doing more harm than good to our water bodies.
The mercury is destroying everything, including water bodies and plants. Nothing is safe for us.
Research, extract, and characterize bioactive molecules from plants, which can be developed into medicines for the prevention and cure of any disease. Then, we can't allow illegal miners to destroy our water bodies, trees, and plants.
If they do, what will be left for us to feed on?
More emphasis must be on plants and trees around us because they contain a lot of medicinal compounds.
Brilliant, Ngerere.
We need more state-of-the-art facilities for research to enable us to explore our floral diversity for the use and purpose of drug discovery and development. If we had the facilities and sufficiently empowered, we would have been able to make significant contributions to the global set for chemical entities or drugs to fight the novel coronavirus.
For how long are we going to continue to rely on the West for solutions to our problems?
Brilliant, Mugabe. That's a good question for us to reflect on.
If that's the case, then as Africans and responsible citizens, we need to wake up and let our government know what we can do to contribute to fight against this COVID-19 and even future pandemic through scientific research.
Now is the time for us to save our African herbal medicine industry from falling and champion African excellence.
Hey, you guys are here playing as if we're enjoying.
Why? Is that a problem?
No, but haven't you heard about the herbal medicine in Africa?
Ngerere, forget about selling my herbal medicine and let's play.
Let me tell you one thing. To develop our African herbal medicine industry, all African governments must improve commitment to funding scientific research. We are discussing about the herbal medicine in Africa, and this two websites here playing and talking about it.
What you are saying is right.
Mandela, Ngerere, funding research is one of the government's topmost priorities.
Ngerere, what she's saying is true. Government must show commitment to funding research.
How possible?
First, people are asking me to say what I'm coming to say. Then, the amount being paid in taxes, the government should give some of the money for research. So, government must shine its eyes and focus more on research.
Brilliant, Ngerere.
Let's focus about what the government does.
We thank God for the ambassadors for reconciliation, justice and peace, Africa. The organization has given us the opportunity to speak our minds to all African governments.
What is it all about?
Haven't you heard about the ambassadors for reconciliation, justice and peace, Africa?
No, not at all.
Ambassadors for reconciliation, justice and peace, Africa is an organization that is interested in developing young people. And that is the reason we have been given this golden opportunity to discuss scientific issues on African herbal medicine.
That's good.
Let us go and stand in front of the Africa Tree of Wisdom to continue our discussion on the African herbal medicine and possibilities of how African governments can invest in scientific research.
Yes, it is good to discuss how possible all African governments can invest in scientific research into plant medicine.
All African governments must put resources together to fund scientific research into plants and herbal medicine. And how is this possible?
Let us go and stand in front of the African Tree of Wisdom.
How possible?
The amount being paid in taxes, the government should give some of the money for research.
That's true, Ngerere, but the government alone cannot do it. Government should lead this initiative by setting aside a percentage of the national revenue generated from income tax and other sectors of the economy as National Research Fund, and also put in place policies that will ensure that non-governmental organizations do the same as part of their corporate social responsibility.
So government must shine its eyes and focus more on research.
Brilliant, hey Salati.
Do you know one thing? Anything emanating from Africa is usually treated with suspicion and contempt. Even Africans hardly value anything that is indigenous to Africa. We have ability to develop our herbal medicine industry.
Yes, Nkrumah, you are right.
Yes, even our herbalists, with their rich knowledge of history and folkloric use of our floral diversity, are often discriminated against and treated with contempt because they are not educated and their approach to providing healthcare is not orthodox.
There is no doubt that there are challenges with our herbal medicine industry. We know there are bad eggs among the herbal medicine practitioners. The problems of accurate dosage and quality are also there.
Well, they are not entitled to blame for all these problems. They have not been given the proper attention that they truly deserve as stakeholders in the healthcare delivery system and are poorly regulated.
If we truly want our herbal medicine industry to develop, scientists in the research institutes and universities must collaborate with the herbal medicine practitioners. Policies should be in place and enforced to facilitate such collaborations, and all stakeholders, especially the government and the private sectors, the industries must be willing to invest in herbal medicine and drug development.
That is the only way we can position ourselves to be able to combat pandemics like COVID-19.
If the government does not help the industry herbal medicine, we will continue to have substandard or poor quality products.
The difference between a drug and a poison is the dose and amount taken. So even a drug can be a poison.
If we do not want our herbal medicines to be more of poisons rather than remedies, then the government needs to come out to show commitment into funding research to back it up with science.
Brilliant, Lumumba. You are right.
You are right, Lumumba. We can do that through proper scientific research.
Brilliant.
I wake up in the morning, I get on my knees. I did learn from the master, he taught me to pray. I read on from the scriptures, the patience of Job. Keep on your faith and live with hope. Jesus is the Redeemer and friend, the only comforter when you feel you are alone. He will be there when you cry out. Keep on your faith and live with hope. When you get into trouble, lift up your head and look up to the mountains where your help comes from. You surely have a refuge all night, all day. Keep on your faith and live with hope. Jesus is the Redeemer and friend, the only comforter when you feel you are alone. He will be there when you cry out. Keep on your faith and live with hope. Why don't you trust in him? He's faithful and true. He promised to take us home on his soon return. Hold on and never look back. Believe in his word. Keep on your faith and live with hope. Jesus is the Redeemer and friend, the only comforter when you feel you are alone. He will be there when you cry out. Keep on your faith and live with hope. Jesus is the Redeemer and friend, the only comforter when you feel you are alone. He will be there when you cry out. Keep on your faith and live with hope. He will be there when you cry out. Keep on your faith and live with hope. He will be there when you cry out. Keep on your faith and live with hope. He will be there when you cry out. Keep on your faith and live with hope. He will be there when you you cry out, keep on your faith and believe.